friends, and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Miss Nuccia and I'm from the Winfield Public Library, and today we are making Jamaican banana fritters. Now, these are extremely popular. It's a very popular dish in Jamaica, and it's very easy to make. The kids can help mix it up. Now, normally you wouldn't want to eat bananas so dark, and I'm even throwing in today 2 bananas I threw in the freezer, skin and all, because I don't always have 5 bananas on hand. This is very, very easy, and you can eat this as a snack. You can eat these banana fritters in the morning, and you can have it as a dessert. The banana fritter at the bottom, a scoop of ice cream, a little topping. So delicious. So let's get started. So I'm going to begin by peeling our bananas. One. See how dark they are? Now, when my bananas get like this and I don't feel like using them right away, I just take and throw them in the freezer. Put them in a Ziploc bag with the skin on, and then I peel it later when I'm ready to use it. And when they're this dark, they make the most delicious dishes. And here is the one that was in the freezer. Can even make ice cream with this. Frozen bananas. There. Now you take a fork and you just mash it up. And you won't be able to tell which ones were the frozen ones in a minute. Just mash it up with a fork. Or you could use a potato masher, but this is just as good. And this is where the kids can do it. They could do all the mashing and mixing. And when the bananas are this ripe, they smell fantastic. And the little dark spots are not going to matter. Now these banana fritters have to be fried. That's the only thing I don't like to do, but it's worth it because they're so good. And it's a treat. I don't fry every day. I hardly ever fry. And see, the fork worked just as well as the potato masher. And you don't need to blend it perfectly and make it disappear. You want to see chunks in your banana fritters. Okay. Now, I don't like my things too sweet, especially if you're going to add a little scoop of ice cream later or a little powdered sugar on top. So I think this is good. And I am going to add 1 tablespoon for every banana. So that is less than half a cup. But some recipes might ask for more. I am going to reduce it because I don't think we need so much sugar. Bananas are sweet on their own. So I would suggest 1 tablespoon for every banana. And now I have 2 cups of flour. Just gonna put it in there. A tablespoon of cinnamon and half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Throw it in. I'm going to put in a little less than a teaspoon. You could put in a teaspoon, but for those that watch Salt and Take, that is fine. Just mix it all up. Stir it together. Blend it in. Oh, and in the batter in the bananas, I'm going to put 1 heaping tablespoon of vanilla. Just stir it up. Okay, now after this is all stirred up, you blend the ingredients together and you get your frying pan ready. And I will be doing that in a minute. You can use canola oil or sunflower oil, whatever you have on hand. It's really simple. My mother used to do something like this when I was growing up. We used to have, in an Italian family, you have a lot of fritters, especially in the summertime. They were so delicious as soon as they were fried. And then you just blend it in. See, I'm using a fork. You don't need a mixing attachment or anything fancy. And this will be almost like pancake batter. You don't want it too thick. So we're going to be adding a little bit of water to water it down, to thin it out. As soon as I mix it up, I will add the water. A tablespoon at a time. A little bit more. It's the third tablespoon. Because it also depends on your bananas. It needs to be a little bit more runny than this. A bit more guts. I think was number 5. I think a drop more. 6. You can use milk too if you want. Switch to the spoon. It's getting better. I think 1 more tablespoon should do it. You don't want it too thin. I think this is it. You're going to drop it in the oil. Now I'm going to go and warm up my oil and get it nice and hot. And I think this is it. We'll be back at the frying pan in 1 minute. Let me get the oil hot. So the oil is almost ready. I put it on medium heat because if you put it any higher, it's going to burn. And I took my tray and I put paper towels at the bottom. I want my fritters to drain nicely. Now, I think the oil is ready. And we're going to start putting them in. You're going to fry them about 5 minutes on each side. You're going to put a nice spoon in about 5 minutes. They should be done. I'll be back when I have to turn it. I'm going to turn them over. They're getting golden. Ah, that one's nice. And just give it a little. And the first batch is done now. So I'm going to take them out and put them on my tray with the paper towels to drain the excess oil. And I'm going to do the next batch. Now you have to make sure your oil is nice and hot. I'm going to put it all in now. And now I can shut off the flame because they are nice and golden. And the oil looks pretty clean. And don't they look gorgeous? You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to make sure that they're well drained. I want to remove as much oil as I can. And I'm going to plate them and sprinkle a little bit of sugar. Just going to sprinkle a little bit of sugar because I did reduce the sugar. Almost like donuts. And maybe I'll even use a scoop of ice cream and enjoy them. I am so pleased with my Jamaican banana fritters. They're so easy to make. The hardest part for me is frying. I only fry every couple of years. I do not like frying. I don't think it's a good thing, but once in a while, it's worth it. And this recipe is really worth it. So when you make your batter, make sure, because it depends on the size of your bananas. It depends. I reduced my sugar quite a bit because I don't want it too sweet. So that could change a little bit too, the sugar. So just make sure that you add enough water so that when you're stirring it and you're dropping it from the spoon, that it isn't heavy. You don't want it like a thin batter, but you don't want it really heavy. So find the right mix and make sure your oil is nice and hot. Because if it isn't, it's just going to fall in there and just become hard like a rock. So you want your oil nice and hot, drop it in. It should be more covered. I used a little less oil because don't like oil. But give it a try, and I am so positive you're going to enjoy it. Tonight, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of topping and a scoop of ice cream for dessert for my husband and myself. And I'm really looking forward to my Jamaican banana fritters for supper. So until the next recipe, thanks friends for watching, and I'll see you at the next recipe. Bye everyone.